Don't. The reaction will continue if it finds more organic material.
For how long?
It seems that when all the rust gas settles into dust, then it is safe. Garrett, for what purpose would the mechanists use these cultivators?
Well, we know Karis has installed them in the masks of the servants.
Yes.
And the servants have been placed in the homes of the wealthy.
Yes! The homes with the gardens. The plants there could sustain a reaction large enough to destroy everything.
Yes, we must think of a plan.
No, there's no time to think. We must go to the Mechanist Cathedral. The beacon you've heard about. You could find it. Try to activate it. To draw the servants to the cathedral. Then you must somehow get Karis to signal them to release the rust gas. You see, if I fill the cathedral with plants, enough to fuel a chain reaction, then it should cause the same effect we just saw. But it would take Karis with it instead of the city. Remember, the cathedral is sealed, airtight.
If we can get into the Mechanist Cathedral, if you fill it with plants, if I can find, let alone activate the beacon, all without being detected, that's too risky. We'll be killed.
Karis created these devices to destroy all that we know. And now they are in place. He needs only say the word. There is no more time. We must act. Are you too blind to see that?
Your plan is suicide. I'll think of a better way. And I work alone.
Diane, Larkspur, I need to speak with you. Now.
I am here against the wishes of the Keeper Council. I am here as your friend, Garrett. Listen. Victoria has begun an assault on the Mechanist Cathedral.
No.
I hope the glyphs are wrong.
Face me yourself, man-fool!
Victoria!
Garrett! I failed! This is not enough plant life to sustain the reaction. These mechanical beasts detected me. But there is one more thing I can do. Then it will be up to you, my good thief.
Wait, Victoria, let's get... Victoria!
Just a
I planned enough!
Karis.
Sabotage Karas's plan by using the guiding beacon to draw the servants to the Mechanist Cathedral. First, you must learn how to use the guiding beacon. Don't let Karas find out what you're up to, or he won't trigger the servants. When the rest of your goals are accomplished, get outside before Karas seals up the cathedral and detonates the servants. What's the extra difficulty? Nothing. All difficulty settings are the same. It can affect the difficulty of the mission, certainly. I'm not quite sure. I would suspect number of the guards, something of that nature. So 3,322. We have very few mass arrows and water arrows, so I guess that's our biggest versus. We can only buy 6. Oh fuck. Gas arrows. Not quite sure what we're gonna have to do. I'll take mass arrows. All the mass arrows. 2 fire arrows. Probably enough. Flash bombs. Sure. I'll take gas arrows. Slow fall potion. Why? Why slow fall potions? the number of water arrows is my biggest concern. We have 13 in total. That is not a lot. I'm taking some of these more exotic things like Soulforge potion. You can basically jump from great height once with this. Not sure if I want to take the invisibility potion because it only lasts a couple of seconds and it doesn't protect from sound. So you're basically going to have someone on your ass anyway. So I just don't see the attraction there. More flash bombs would certainly help. Not sure about fire arrows. The speed potion worthless. Frog beast worthless. Has mines. They're 500. Too expensive. They're not nearly as useful as gas arrows. But they have the same price. Maybe another gas arrow. But flashbang in most cases does the same thing in practice. It's below half the cost. Maybe one more fire arrow. Put it to 4. We could disable cameras that way. It's not like we can afford most of these. The cost is 500 to 600 with most of these. So either way, we're gonna be left with something shit in our inventory. So, Slowfall potion, 10 moss arrows, 1 gas arrow, 1 fire arrow, 6 water arrows, 4 flash bombs. We are going to try to stay stealthy. We have to stay stealthy anyway.
Garrett, are you not? So, once again we are met. And the woman of the woods, didst thou come here together? But lo, how easily evil is felled when the righteous hold the mace. Thou art transparent to me, Garrett. Even now I can see thou seekest to stop me, but there is naught you can do. My chamber resists all manner of infiltrations, even from a skilled man such as thyself. The servants hearken to my instructions only, and even now await my commands. Maybe I've waited overmuch. Yea, thine intrusion has been my cue to begin now the final preparations. May the world be ready for the builder's arrival. I fear you not, Garrett, that I have dispatched some of the builder's children to intercept you. Thou too will perish, and trouble me no more.
Okay. Any maps? Bay A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 transmission towers. So shit. This is gonna be a long one. Loot probably isn't a concern. That said, we could use more equipment. Rolling machine. Rolls. Instructions. Place source material in the basin on top of machine. Insert steel plate into the chute on the side of the machine. Push button to activate machine. Products will emerge at the other end. I don't get it. I move some of these. Yes. Why would I use this? Is there a steel plate in the chute? We need to have a goal of some sort first. Fuck these things. I did not expect the mission to start like this. Us trying to harvest some kind of a metal plate for unknown purpose. Factory bay. Bay A, Bay B, Bay C. I have no idea. Why am I doing this? Bellowing machine. Place source material or materials into the funnel on top of the machine. Produce will emerge on the other end. Okay, what exactly am I supposed to produce here? Clearly there's some kind of factory process. And I lost a lot of life there. Or fuck this shit. We'll use the machines if we have to use the machines. Bay E plants, Bay B. We have so few water arrows that I don't dare to disable anything. We need to find out something. Clearly there's a lot of things we can do. Should I try the other side? Yeah, not exactly a group you want to pick a fight with. And electrical lights, electrical lights, electrical lights, so we might as well just run. We reach the next shadow or we're fucked. No clue what I'm doing. Okay, just moving forward, hoping to find something. The amount of robots is absolutely massive. There's no point even trying to contemplate fighting them. It's even if we could one shot kill them with the water arrows, we'll still run out of arrows pretty quickly. So evasion is the only real strategy we have available here. This is, I think, the rubber mat, not actually metal. Learn how to use the guiding beam. Fluid vapor interchange. Yep. Yeah. This is a massive area. We have no idea where to go, no idea about nothing. Oh, it's quite nice. Yeah, the vegetation isn't blocking everything, but it's all over in the air. Like it's and how do you call locator here? You don't. Well, fuck. Spiders! Almost got through a game like this without running into too many spiders. Just a couple of here and there. Now, mechanical spiders. Okay, could you actually climb? Why am I here? Where am I? What?
I know thou art not a believer, Garrett, yet thou art well aware that half of all thou seest is through mechanist machinery, thy metal eye. I gave the eye to thee in the hopes that thou wouldst be an ally, but 'twas not to be. You have eluded me in the past, Garrett, but no one, not even thee, will escape this night.
Yeah, how the hell am I supposed to sneak in here, really? A one-way trip. And we're probably in areas we were already earlier. Yeah. Signal slot A and B, so fuck me. I have no idea what to do with these, and no idea in general what the hell am I doing.
Well, if Karis has any way to detect what I'm doing, I'll know soon.
I'm restarting this. Because I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. I don't mean just in the way that I don't know what I'm doing. I mean the way there has to be some other place I can go to. Something that will reveal something useful to us. Maybe I should take less mass arrows. Problem with the mass arrows is that there's a mountain of situations where you could use them. I'm not sure if they, even if I would do it, they would make any kind of meaningful difference.
Garrett, are you not? So, once again we are met. And the woman of the woods, didst thou come here together? But lo, how easily evil is felled when the righteous hold the mace. Thou art transparent to me, Garrett. Even now I can see thou seekest to stop me, but there is naught you can do. My chamber resists all manner of infiltrations, even from a skilled man such as thyself. The servants hearken to my instructions only, and even now await my commands. Maybe I've waited overmuch. Yea, thine intrusion has been my cue to begin now the final preparations. May the world be ready for the builder's arrival. I fear you not, Garrett, that I have dispatched some of the builder's children to intercept you. Thou too will perish and trouble me no more.
A plant's room sounds like it could be useful. The plants. Don't have plans of my own. Find out other people's plans. Transmitters are clearly the key. There's no real shadow here. Mostly worried about the camera though. Yeah. Is this the plans, or do we need to go further?
Mouthpiece of the builder. His word is truth. His voice is blessed song.
Yeah, bad time.
Blessed are those who have flames, for they carry with them the purifying flame, and were made in the builder's own image.
I want to read that blue note on the wall. We have to have some kind of idea what the hell is happening. Otherwise, this is just floundering here and there and probably not being able to do what we were sent here in the first place to do. What is that? Storeroom. Don't pick locks when someone is near us. Yeah, a lot of components are all nice and dandy, but I need to know why we're building and what we're building. The storeroom, without a doubt, is key once we know that. At the moment, I'm just wasting my time. So, even mechanists have been getting the masks. Basically not trusting anyone. To be honest, with a plan like this, it's a sensible thing. One goes. Shit. I think well, I'm there, but there's something going there, and I'd like to at least see it. Plans, 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 plans are everything. Have plans. Once I don't have plans, I can't build. Return to what's in plans. Plans. This has to be where it all starts. Plans. There's at least 7 saves.
What hast thou built, Garrett? When the time comes to
just
review
keep
thy
prattling
life
away,
with the
Cass.
master builder for thee, and the question is asked, what hast thou built? What will thee say, poor Garrett? For thou art a man of destruction, not construction. 'Tis the biggest sin of all. Build thyself today a good house. That would please him much.
like a trigger plate. Need to get more weight on it. Guiding beacon blueprint. Okay. Obtain a signal pult and a steel plate from storage room 2. The signal pult through the bellowing machine. Yeah. Stage 1 piece. Stage 2 piece. Manufacturer regulating round. See separate blueprints. Merge the stage 2 piece. The regulating round with the sealing machine in factory bay D. Stage 3 piece will be manufactured. Put the stage 3 piece through the fusing machine in factory bay E. I suppose we need to build one. I certainly hope we need to build one. Jesus Christ, we have to build 6. Okay. Signal pulp. Oh, I have to write this shit down. Okay. We need a signal bolt. Steel plate. I wonder, it'll probably all go into our inventory. Otherwise, yeah, hell. Storage room 2. Signal bolt through A, now known as SB, to bellowing machine. And FB3, factory bay C. Don't know where the 3 came from. The stage 1 piece will be manufactured. Transform stage 1 piece to rolling machine. Factory bay A. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Stage 2 piece. Excellent. Manufacture a regulating round. See separate blueprint. And stage 2 plus regulating. In what exactly we want to do? Sealing machine. Okay. And it is in factory bay B. Stage 3 piece. And stage 3 piece needs to be put into fusing machine. Isn't that wonderful? Produce, to get the guiding beacon. Get bacon. Okay, that sounds horrible. Brother Kelsis, regarding the proper usage of the guiding beacon. Ah, thank God. As thou knowest, the servants are controlled by the 8 signal towers located on the roof of the cathedral. Normally these signal towers communicate instructions that I myself issue unto the servants from within my protective chamber. However, when the time comes to modify the servants, we will use these signal towers to transmit the guiding beacon instead. In my wisdom, I have made it easy to do this without necessitating difficult adjustments to the signal towers. Firstly, thou must get the guiding beacon. Only one hath been manufactured, and I am controlling access to it by keeping it always with me inside my protective chamber. Since thou art a loyal and industrious follower of Karas, if I am unavailable, though has my permission to manufacture a new one. Blueprints are stored in Plan's room. Bringeth then the guiding beacon to the signal room, which is on the third floor of the northern apse. There thou wilt see the machine that produces the signal used by the signal towers. This machine had two slots, signal slot A and signal slot B. At all times the device which transmits my instructions must be connected to signal slot A. However, thou canst connect the guiding beacon to signal slot B. I think that's machine, it was basically what we found, separate from the actual transmitting tower. So once we have the two device, we'll have to go to that machine. Now we know how. And switch it to signal mode B. And I guess switch all the towers to B2. Okay, do this at thy leisure, for 'twill not interrupt my control over the servants. Yet another step is required to activate the guiding beacon thou hast prepared. Only when thou art certain thou hast my consent, thou mayst take this final step. Go to the signal towers. At the base of each thou shalt find a lever. Flip the lever from A to B. This will cause that signal tower to transmit the signal in signal slots B instead of signal slot A. The servants will hear the guiding beacon and will begin their journey back to me. Here at Soulforge Cathedral. When they all arrive, thou must immediately switch the signal towers back to A so that I can give the servants further instructions, as the servants cannot hear my instructions when the signal towers are set to B. Note, it is possible to expedite the process, as thou may recall from our discussion of the principles of redundant signal potency. My calculations indicate that thou needest only to set 6 of the 8 signal towers to B in order for that signal to be now the dominant one. Your reverend leader, Karas.
This is just what I was looking for. Now I've got a real plan.
Yeah, thank God. Can I read it too? Regulating round. Gauge. Obtain a gauge. Okay. Regulating. Need a gauge and bantam node. Storage room 3. Integrate the gauge and the phantom node by using the linking machine. Of course, that's the linking machine. Factory A B. Okay. Flare. Well, I'm not gonna make flares no matter what. In Earth, but I make flares. My. Well, we have the move blueprints, we can worry about it later if we want to or not. It's my key. Scouting log. Worthless. Comparative power ingestion rates of immobile security units. A concise study of Watcher and Sentries by Friedrich Gorik. Do we want to use this? Okay, summation of findings. Thus far our efforts have focused on the management of sentry power ingestion levels. We have created sentries that remain functional at all times without the need for refuelment. However, they must then be fueled continuously from a power source external to themselves. Soulforge has proven to be an ideal research area for testing these sentries, since power resources there be aplenty. Unhappily, we have made little progress towards a mode that functions extensively convenient, so- outside such convenient circumstances. Okay, let's read the entirety. For the sentry, the act of focusing upon any foe, or the casting of projectile, large or small, is known to cause said sentry to swiftly consumeth its fuel resources in abundance. Therefore, sentries in most instances have been placed in conjunction with watchers, which work in both. Both require comparatively insignificant fuel resources, whilst demonstrating superior capabilities in detection of trespassers. Whilst this pairing does seem to create a seamless overlap of function and power ingestion, in truth the inherent delay of the Watcher has been known to compromise the security value of the Sentry. This study then seeketh to combine the advantages of both Watcher and Sentry, indeed to create a Sentry innovation which hath the full discrimination abilities of a Watcher, yet consumeth fuel resources of comparatively small quantity. We have a plan. We need to go to the storage area next. There we already were. Why is this here? Still mystifies me. I don't know. Storage area room 2. I want to see how the equipment is handled. And we just take all of them and then worry near the machines what we actually have to put in, or do we have to actually carry them in a much more inconvenient way, like one item at a time or something really retarded like that. No. So we just need to basically pick everything you can. Worry later what you need specifically in a situation. We only need one. We could produce mines at least. Flash mine. This is gonna be a terrible, terrible, terrible mission.
Soon all will be with the breath of the builder, the necrotic mutox that I created, and all the souls, the rich that spurned me, the city watch that betrayed me, the loathsome pagans, the mindless commoners, even the loyal followers of Karis, all will receive the blessing and the cleansing. But will they lift up their arms and praise Karis as the vapors make them pure? Nay, they will wail and scream, most ungrateful!
Yeah, some people are just ungrateful. Okay, that's not storage room 3. I think I'm missing a piece, basically. The storage room that we need then be on the other side. What did we need from storage room 3? Gauge and abandon node. What was the abandon node that we need? Yeah, I think we're okay on everything pretty much. So, I suppose we should get into the production of things. So basically get back to the start game. I'm going to make a mad dash for it pretty much. Don't see why not. Don't particularly have anything to lose. I want to see where this goes. It doesn't seem to go anywhere, so. Another one of these. Yeah. They seem like pressure plates. Don't know if they are. Doesn't particularly matter, I suppose. Just curious, because why would you even put something like this here? Doesn't seem to serve any purpose. I mean, suddenly just middle of the floor. Not a grading or anything either. Just middle. I don't think I'm gonna fuss about this after this, but just curious. Even touching it, no. Whatever. Okay. Survive the start of the game. think we're going to leave this here. Okay. We need to go to Factory Bay A, Factory Bay C, Factory Bay D. D would be in the west from here. And Factory Bay E, which we don't know where it is yet. No, Factory Bay B doesn't seem to have any real purpose as far as our plot critical item is concerned. So, but might as well start with the A, I suppose. Ah, shit. Okay, we're in no danger when we didn't have to really do this. Ah, crap. Not sure if we can really stay hidden here. Ooh, and now there are people here too. Ah, crap. Okay, the actual guard seems to be here only temporarily, so two of these combat monsters going back and forth. Not exactly a catastrophe, but okay, place source material in the base in onto a machine. Insert steel placed into tubes. So what's our source material really?
Look about you, Garrett. I built these machines you see, and in turn, they produced the builder's children. The necrotic mutox, the servants, everything. 'Tis my gift to the builder, Soulforge Cathedral and all it contains. 'Twill be the very center of the builder's paradise. Surely this strikes wonder into your heart.
I'm just gonna have to wait them out. Still heavily coming after me. I'm sure they'll give up soon though. In many ways this is now worse, because there's no way I can get through this. The blasted thing is stuck there.
I know thou art not a believer, Garrett, yet thou art well aware that half of all thou seest is through mechanist machinery, thy metal eye. I gave the eye to thee in the hopes that thou wouldst be an ally, but 'twas not to be. You have eluded me in the past, Garrett, but no one, not even thee, will escape this night.
So you say. Let's see if we can even produce the first of this. It's the correct machine, isn't it? Call its name anymore. Calling machine. Yep. What's the material to use this? Place source material in the basin on top of machine. Insert steel plate in the chute on side of machine. Push button to activate machine. Production. Okay. Full machine. Ah. No 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 no. No 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 no. No 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 no. No. Did I say no already? We need to go to factory base C first. We need a stage 1 transmitter, blah 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 blah, and then we roll it into our stage 2. We didn't exactly have time to write all the instructions down. How do you use this? One of the children fetched me today by order of Father Karras to visit him at the chamber in which he now cloisters. It was quite unexpected, as was the conversation which followed. I was able to speak with Father Karras through the slits in the door. He ordered me to find him some new street people to convert to servants. Respectful, I ventured to ask him wherefore, since our supply of necrotic mutax gas containers is gone, and we have no need for mindless slaves when the builder's children are such efficient workers. He told me that the children would not manipulate some things with their appendices as well as a human might, and I was greatly shocked to hear Father Karras make such a comparison. Nevertheless, I pressed on and inquired why did he not simply ask us, his devout followers, to perform for him whatever task he might require of such a nature. At this, Father Karras became quite furious and bellowed me through the door, demanding that I comply with his wishes and asking who I believed would be suitable fodder for servants, if not beggars and the like. I was much afeared at his assailant, but then he stopped quite suddenly, as though some truth had just occurred to him, and without further explanation bid me never mind, go back about my normal business. I should like to do so, but 'twas not long ago that this transpired, and already I have been called off to some new special duty by another missive from one of the children. I shall finish this account when I return. Yeah, you never return. There's source material in the funnel on top. Okay, and it's immovable. How do you use this plastic thing? Where's the button? There's no button. Stage 1, please. Come on, are we okay here? Stage 2. Ah, okay. We need regulating something in the sealing machine, factory bay D. Yeah, factory bay D is required to do 2 things, and I think it's there. I'd really, much so, like to get at least a device manufactured, even installed. Look at our options. Follow the guiding beacon blueprint, manufacture a new one for yourself. Connect the guiding beacon you made to single slot speed. Adjust at least hours. Don't let Karras find out what you're up to, or he won't trigger the servants. What does that actually mean? When the rest of your goals are accomplished, get outside before Karras seals up the cathedral and detonates the servants. I think for an expert, this might have a time limit. Not sure if you're aware of that. I mean, I don't think there's a clock counting down. There might be a time limit. We will never have to come back here again, unless we're running out in terror. I'm guessing it'll... Keeping it a secret from Karas is linked to certain stage. Basically not get noticed in a certain stage, like in the first game. We need to switch one item during a ritual. And it was just important that during that ritual when he's casting, we are doing the switcheroo, he doesn't notice us. Probably should let them go. Carrying something. No.
Blessed are the forged ones, for they know no fear and are fueled by courage. Sifting through the remnants of the precursor's world, I found the tools the builder had left for me. I saved these things when all else is gone. The builder hath spoken to Paris, and imagine my joy when finally I did piece the puzzle together. How long did it wait for one such as me? One who could bring about the age when the builder would walk again on Earth.
Yeah, we're gonna have to load. What I'm curious about is there another way to reach here? That might be...
Please be warned.
Because this is the route they're offering me is fairly suicidal, I'd say. Not impossible by any means, but I wouldn't want to take it. Still, I should go there. I go there.
How could mere man conceive the gear? 'Twas the builder. He speaks it first in our waiting ears, then guides a pen when 'tis time to read. 'Twas not Karas that conceived this plan. 'Twas the builder spoke it first to his ear and guides him now during final hours.
How to get past this?
I am thy servant, Karas, commanding me.
Suppose we could try a decoy. Could try something. What is it now? Fuck. I think this one. Well, at least the storage room 3 is here, so we need something extra. Don't need to go and search for it. We could try a noisemaker distraction, I suppose. Fuck me. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to know if there's a way that maybe try to get not get totally fucked. Yeah. Well, it wasn't pretty, but I think we're more or less safe. Because although they can probably track us very close, they can't come in. I wanted to get rid of one of them simply so I have room to get the hell out of here. Not really worried about the small ones. I've never seen. Have I even taken damage from one? I don't know. The fact that I can't say if I have taken damage or not says quite a lot about their effectiveness. This one isn't giving up.
Please be
Might as well save. It's not like it's gonna get any better. Only see the use for invincibility potions and things like that. Okay. What exactly we need to do here? We need to access storage room 3, although I'm not sure that's mandatory. We have stage 2. We need a regulating something and a sealing machine. Then we need, yeah, we need a gauge and a abandon node. A linking machine and sealing machine. Okay. Instructions. Place source material in the chutes, one material per chute on side of machine. Signal by a friend standing on the control platform against the wall of this bay to activate the machine for the product will emerge. We can't do that yet. Yes. We need the... What do we need? We need the gauge and the pendulum in the linking machine. What machine is this?
Please be warned, a misguided soul. All should hear the words of Paris. The words of Paris.
Okay. So this would be an alternative entrance without a doubt. Which is fluid vapor interchange, okay. We can learn, I guess. But the next time I'm playing this, I'll already programmed it.
I should offer thanks to your departing trickster woman, for 'twas she that warned me.
Place source material into tube. Side of the machine. Signal by a friend standing on the control platform. Activate the machine. So, what exactly do we need to stop in here? Except for the linking machine, I think. Gauge and a phantom node.
Before her arrival, I thought the city was blind to the builder's paradise I shall soon bring about. Yet 'tis just thee who knows. No matter, for even if all the city knew, still, I could not be stopped.
What machine is this anyway? I probably should have checked before coming here. Okay, let's assume this is a Lincoln machine. If it's not, we can easily load. Gauge and abandon node.
Please be warned. A misguided soul. All should hear the words of warning. A misguided soul.
I'm Bo. Fuck. It probably produced a lot of noise.
Garrett, thou must prepare thy soul for the builder's arrival. Cleanse thy thoughts and accept his words. Embrace the coming of the builder's paradise and rejoice in the humble part that thou hast played.
I don't even know what the fucking machine is. What is this thing? Is this all the same machine? Yeah. Out of my way. This is the seeding machine.
Please be warned, a misguided soul.
This why is this a different machine on the other side? It has to be. However, where's the little plaque saying what it is? Okay, blinking machine.
I know not why you oppose me. In one act, I will end all human suffering and clear the path for the builder to walk again on Earth. History will move forward. My tireless children will build in his name, creating advancements beyond our understanding. Now is the dark time before the days of light. Why dost thou oppose me?
Yeah, it can smell me. It can't see me. Well, in theory at least. Okay, I think this is a pretty safe place, because it can never get next to me. It has certainly heard the clang though.
It shall not escape. Hostile, wretched intruder.
What is this? I don't know, but it leads to the area we want to go to, so I'm okay with this.
Please be warned, a misguided soul.
Recently produced a pigment piece. Okay. We're very close to reaching our goal here. We need okay. Stage 2 with the regulating piece of crap we just made. The sealing machine. Oh shit. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I mean, this mission in general. Because it's very different to what we're used to actually doing in this game. I'm not in no any way convinced that it's a big change.
Please be warned. MS guided soul.
Still, we have a stage 3 piece. We need to put it in the fusing machine and in Factory Bay E, and we have the beacon. So I want to visit Story Space 3 since we're here. We have to wait for the machine to show its face. I'm thinking of going up again. Reason is I do have no idea where the factory base is supposed to be, so we can't see it anywhere here, and it has sort of a central positioning there. So it can go into a lot of different places. We're waiting for what? Fusing. Haven't had to do any fusing so far. It could be there for all I know, but I don't think so. Mostly, where's the big guy?
I should offer thanks to your departing trickster woman, for 'twas she that warned me. Before her arrival, I thought the city was blind to the builder's paradise I shall soon bring about, yet 'tis just thee who knows. No matter, for even if all the city knew, still, I could not be stopped.
Who's that? Lux Spheroid. What a Flux Spheroid.
Malfunction.
Yeah, this isn't good. Be sort of curious to see what's. Well, that sort of sucks. Yeah, there's nothing there. Okay. Yeah, not a good idea. Thought it would not be able to beat at this point, and sure, terribly, terribly, terribly wrong. I sort of get the need to manufacture this kind of a machinery piece, but this isn't what Thief is about. It's a Thief game, not a manufacturing game. Crafting game, whatever. So there's still the evading and hiding, but it's... I don't know if it's a great thing or a bad thing. What's this? Full life. Maybe. Don't know. Healing fountain anyway. I'll take it. Still, Factory Bay... There isn't all that much room for it. Multiple levels. I suppose it could be on a higher level, but every other factory bay has been here. They have no use for factory bay. I think I'll go to factory bay B, because I'm hoping that it's basically a bad handwriting thing again, so I'm mistaking E for B. Otherwise, why even have the B in the first place? Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this? E. Well, wasn't a bad handwriting thing. Can't hear anything. Because everyone's too far away. Back to say that the situation is shit. Ooh, that's you can enter there from there from plans area. You can go there too. seems like a plan. I need to at least check things out. So fusing machine is probably the one on the right. Yes, only machine here anyway. It's not worth the risk to try to just evade the blasted camera. There's no real defenses beside it here, so we can now safely use that edge to go here, use our blasted thing, probably without any bodyguarding interferes. Yeah, they don't really come here on their own. That's it, there might be something on the other side there. But do I care? Not particularly. The problem about caring at this point is that we're basically fighting for our lives. What do we need? So it doesn't matter if we get something extra, if it's just a little bit of extra something. Okay, fusing machine. Stage 3, we just need to dump it there, I guess. Journals of Brother Kelsus returning from Father Karras' sermon today, I found myself deeply troubled. He had changed. I see now that I have observed this for some time without wanting to give it pause or forethought. 'Tis thrilling to listen to his sermon issuing from one of the children, that he cannot spare himself to venture from his chamber for even this purpose. The content of the sermon too was disquieting, suggesting as it did that none of us could ever be as loyal to the builder as a mechanism can, though I still believe unwaveringly in the blessing of the machine. The disfavor toward all things of nature had fallen beyond my ability to affirm, and it seemed to me that in his speech Karras did many times confuse himself with the builder, which be an indication I care not to think about. Many in the congregation did not seem to react to the sermon in the same way. They shouted and praised Karras as ever, but I suspect many of them no longer truly listen, that they void their minds and behave as puppets. But I did see more than one with a pensive or grave countenance, and mayhap I shall find the courage to approach those friends soon at the Eastport Seminary to discuss these matters. Or have we not been ordered by Karras himself to spend this next week away from Soulforge Cathedral? Okay, yeah, because everyone else will die. Rest in peace.
Assuming the blueprints didn't leave anything out, this thing ought to do the trick.
Anyway, that's where we came from. All said and done, it's probably the best way to enter where we want to go next. Simply because we've run the gauntlet through that direction once already.
Alas, I alone must wait for purification. I must remain alive to greet the builder, while all around me all else is cleansed by his wondrous breath. The day shall come when I too breathe in his perfection. My burden is heaviest now, but my rewards will be greatest later. Praise the builder for all his wisdom.
So, gonna make some moves. Yeah, I guess.
Find the disturbance. Avoid the intruder.
Have I really been here before? What did I do? I don't recall anymore. Yeah. I have total blackout on what the fuck would I do here before.
Alas, I alone must wait for purification. I must remain alive to
No.
greet the builder.
This is
While
wrong.
all around me all else is cleansed by his wondrous breath. The day shall come when I too breathe in his perfection. My burden is heaviest now, but my rewards will be greatest later. Praise the builder for all his wisdom.
Yeah, praise be the builder for building and stuff. Now this elevator, that I don't know where it goes. Ah, okay. What? Oh, come on, you piece of shit. That's how it's supposed to work. You jump on it. Wrong direction. Moving up and left. Right. Ah, okay. We should be getting to the place where we need to put the beacon in. Oh, come on. Guiding beacon. So, adjust at least 6 of the 8 signal towers to use signal B, the guiding beacon, instead of the signal A. I would expect the expert to have, you have to maybe turn all of them. Maybe not. Don't know. Either way, I think we can pretty much abandon this level at this point and go to the upper levels, trying to figure out how to, where can we access more of those. Yeah, we have to use the elevator. Anyway, we'll access more of the antennas. We can finish this thing.
If Karis has any way to detect what I'm doing, I'll know soon.
He doesn't. And That's a start for the final phase. This is taking so long. I have to finish it up some other time. I don't know how involved process that is to go around and switching things. Doesn't particularly matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There should be even 8 of them. So one of them is probably here somewhere. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all.
Karras didn't pipe up about the sabotage. I don't think he knows.
I don't think he does either.